Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Galactic Thursday, where we will take a little adventure into the stars and see what the messages are from my guides, from my council in the cosmos. So, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Jeanette Byro. I'm a medium and a cosmic channeler. And yeah, today we're just going to dive in. Today, also, I want to say we have the full moon today in Capricorn, also known as the buck moon. And this moon is really it's asking for you to pay attention to what is really happening in your life. Like, where do you need a reset and a recalibration? Where do you need to redefine yourself in your outward expression? What's interesting too is the moon is very watery this week, yet Capricorn is really asking for these clear, concise understandings. And if you remember on Monday, the cards did say things would become more clear. So the invitation under this moon is really taking a look at what's happening in your life, in your outward expression, like your work, your home, your friend group, your family, like where you interact. What's happening and what's aligned in there? What can you let go of? How can you redefine who you are in the now? And all of that coming from the basis of your heart, your emotional space. Even though Capricorn is not very emotional, the moon, though, this buck moon is asking us to be emotional with the clarity and the concise energy of Capricorn. Okay. So that's really where we're starting today. So we have the energy of the moon right now. Again, a good time for releases, rituals or ceremonies you want to do in what is completed in your life, what has come full circle. And at the same time, it's a great time to surrender the rest, like giving yourself an opportunity under this moon to just release the rest, even in your body. Allow your body the time to just, when we're sitting, we're kind of sitting, holding ourselves held. And then there's times where you can just like release and you feel your body release even more. That's what we want to do under this moon with consciousness. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to tune into whatever the messages are today from the guide. So I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment and see who's there. So just hold on. Interesting. The first thing that they told me, and this is coming from the Arcturians, my Arcturian guide, Shaham, they're saying they're doing a renegotiation on time. And I said, so what does that mean? How does that look? And he said, it's a renegotiation on not only the way that time moves, but our perception of time. We talked about this yesterday when they talked about the time-space continuum. They're saying part of this has to do with the raising of your consciousness, like we talked about yesterday. The other part has to do with their influence. And yeah, they're renegotiating some time a little bit to shift the direction of some things that are going in the wrong direction. So what's really interesting with that is those of you that are carrying this higher consciousness, which is pretty much all of you watching this, you will notice more glitches. So we're coming into a very glitchy weekend. And the beautiful thing with that is to not take it personally when the glitches come up, you don't take them personally. You just notice them for what they are. And sometimes that requires you to just really release conversations, misunderstandings with others, knowing that you're like, well, I know this is glitchiness. I know I might not be able to explain it to you or you, but I know that the miscommunication here is a glitch. So I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to just reconfigure, recalibrate myself, carry on forward. And they're saying if you know this, you'll move through it with more ease and grace. They're also saying, though, we may notice some bigger glitches, kind of like it that we see in the collective. So maybe what you notice on the news, or just like they're saying you will perceive this in a way of premonition or deja vu like experiences in your world and in the collective. So we may hear something on say on the news, whatever kind of news source you get, where you're like, well, that already happened, right? That kind of a feeling. So there's going to be bigger time glitches because there needs to be a recalibration of the bigger timeline for humanity right now, because there's been a lot of manipulations on the other side. So remember, we were talking about the darkness as well, and how the darkness has ways to manipulate time. But with our consciousness rising the way it has, we have the ability to, or, those that are helping us have the ability to shift the time. So my question would be to them, is this because CERN or CERN-like places have been more active? And they're saying, yes, it's in connection to those things. It's also in connection to something happening at the poles, which I have not researched, or I don't know anything about that yet. So there's something that's happening at the poles, whether the poles have shifted a little bit as well. I feel like there's a human-made cause, but also an energetic or galactic cause, and they're having to recalibrate between the two. So therefore, we will notice the glitches. Okay, there's going to be a lot more glitches this weekend. But here's the thing. If you ride the waves of the glitches, you actually get to see sort of beyond the veil. Your ability to see beyond the veil is that much greater. And it gives you an insight into the workings behind the scenes. And there's a value in that. Spirit saying it takes away the mystery, but the Arcturians are saying, but it also gives you the wisdom to understand more of how things work. So again, adjustments in time, the time continuum, you will notice it as glitches. Just notice what you notice and move through it with ease and grace. Don't take it personally. They're also showing me that Mother Earth is like, they keep showing me Earth, but Earth is like kind of like stretching and shifting, kind of like this. And they're saying that there's a shift in the Earth's frequency as well. And the Schumann will have reflected it. I haven't checked the Schumann recently, the Schumann resonance will have reflected it there. The Earth has kind of like broken through into a new level frequency, which is also having an effect on it. Very interesting. Yes, fair. Thank you. So the biggest thing really for as you move into this weekend is notice what you notice. Be aware of the time glitches, move through them with ease and grace. When you have when you're given insights behind the scenes like this, kind of like be able to see beyond the veil, it gives you greater capacity for your manifestations on this side. When you understand how it works on the backside, you know what to do on this side. So they're saying that's why it's really of value to understand, to take away a bit of the mystery. And they're saying we're trying to bring in the whole reason. Mhm. The whole reason that they're doing this too is in connection to this really heavy energy I talked about yesterday. Remember that kind of like shroud or blanket energy that's kind of this this really tough energy that feels like everyone just kind of wants to give up. And yes, I'm generalizing that, but it's like people can't handle anymore. The shift is also happening because of that collective force field of like almost giving up, and they're not willing to allow us to give up, and they realize how hard we've been working. So again, the shift is also to try and reharmonize the awakened collective frequency on the planet as well. So I'd be curious throughout the weekend what starts to come into more alignment for you in your life as well, because I feel like there's something coming with that. So very interesting. Whenever there's a change in time, the time continuum, whenever there's a shift in that, that's a huge ripple effect. So I'm not surprised, as Spirit was saying in the beginning of the week with the cards, that we were standing at the precipice of something new. Something new is about to begin, and they talked about the ripples. This makes a lot of sense. Fascinating. Okay, so notice what you notice this weekend. All right, it's a big thing, big thing. Also, I do want to invite you all to Cosmic Consciousness next Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about the soul star chakra, the chakra just above your crown chakra, how it's connected into your nervous system and the awakening right now, and why it is coming online right now at this time in July for a specific reason, and how you can tap into that. And we'll do meditation with that as well. So if that feels like a draw, you can sign up at avalonspirit.com under Cosmic Consciousness, and I look forward to see you there. So have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow.